Welcome to the Empire of Dirt. Today I was going to do a bit of a review on a cheap Chinese plasma cutter. I use a few plasma cutters here in the shop. This one, I've had this Chicago Electric Harbor Freight plasma cutter for, I've probably had that 10 years now, and the only thing that I've had problems with is stuff getting dropped on the leads and cutting the wires and cutting the air hose. I've had to change the air hose. I've had to fix wires in there before. But all in all, for $600-800, whatever I paid for it, this plasma cutter has been absolutely fantastic. I was on Amazon not too long ago and I saw this one. I think this one was right at $100, something like that. It's a 30 amp, I believe, 110 plasma cutter. And really, for what it does, works pretty good. I use it on little projects when I don't want to get the torch out or I'm just cutting thin sheet steel. It does really well. It came with the air filter and it came with the pressure gauge and the regulator and everything. Not too bad. The consumables are cheap. That's one of the things I liked about it. The consumables are a double-ended electrode. The only thing that I did with this was I took and cut the safety off the trigger, just because it's one more annoyance that you really don't need. Or maybe you do, but I don't like it. Anyway, for what this is, I think it was $130, something like that. I did that bush hog deck with it, all the cutting on that. I believe this is actually some 3/16 plate that it cut. Probably most of the buggering on that is operator error. I think that was actually cut with a torch. Anyway, not too bad for as cheap as it is. So I was on Amazon the other day and bought a new one. This one was $180. I think it was a 50 amp plasma cutter. So got it in the mail, and I was going to do a bit of a review on both. Unfortunately, all this one does is just let air through it. Doesn't electrify the tip. It doesn't fire. This is all this plasma cutter does. Even if you put it right on the ground, it doesn't work. So the $180 plasma cutter from Amazon is a bit of a bust. We're going to take it apart and see what's inside it. The other thing that I didn't like about this plasma cutter, it came with a weird style air connector back here, so I had to put this on there and just clamp it. It's just a different style. It's not the one that we use. The best way I've found to take something like this apart is just start taking screws out until there's no screws left in it. I probably won't keep this, because I probably won't be able to figure out what's inside it and what's actually causing it not to operate. So I'm not too concerned about losing all the screws. Okay, you got a air filter and then your connector. I'm not sure what happened right there. Something got soldered on and it still doesn't work. I'll bet you wouldn't want to touch any of those capacitors. That would probably be a flawed idea. We got an air gap in here that's not set very well. Well, you can take the cover off that. We might adjust those a little bit. That's all you hear, I think, is just the air gap for that. Got a little solenoid. Looks like it's 24 volt DC. Somebody's been in here and done quite a bit of soldering on this thing. These, you can see the coating was scratched off of these. Most of the reason I don't know that I could fix this is because I don't know what any of this stuff does. The solder joints actually look pretty good on them. It doesn't look like they've gone horribly wrong. Overall, this thing is just, it's pretty piss poor quality. All in all, that's pretty bad. Not sure if we'll be able to do anything with that. So if I had to guess, this plasma cutter was probably a factory reject. It didn't work, and then another company in China bought it, tried to repair it unsuccessfully, and then sold it again. If I had to guess, I would say that's what happened to this, because that was definitely repaired or tried to be repaired, and then this was a problem, and somebody soldered on that too. All right. No. All right. Nothing. The only saving grace on this, I believe this torch will work on my other plasma cutter. So we'll see here. Just for looks like the right plug, and looks like the right fitting here. So this is scrap steel I got laying here on the floor, but it'll work for what I want to do. That's okay. So, not too bad. I'm glad the torch actually works. That means it wasn't just a torch. Really, all in all, like I said, this actually cuts really well. Okay, so in conclusion, what do I think of this? Not very much. Sadly, it's not even worth cutting the cord off of, because I know the wire inside the cord is aluminum. Don't think I would say don't buy one of these cheap plasma cutters, because I have had success with a cheaper plasma cutter than this, but this one probably was a lemon the day it was made and something was wrong with it. There's a open connection on that board or something. I'm not an electronics guy, so I have no idea what's actually wrong with it, but something like that. And somebody probably bought it, tried to fix it, and sold it to me. That happens quite a bit. There's a lot of companies in China that will buy factory defective parts, repair them, and then sell them. So I guess the moral of the story is beware of what you buy on Amazon, and if it's that cheap, don't expect too much. I am impressed with the cheaper one that I have, just because it is so cheap, like it's out. That's it for today's episode of the Empire of Dirt. If you found this helpful, thanks for watching, and like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more shenanigans.